Go to SMAC on a Saturday, don't you, for the music and dance classes? Don't you? And then you're in the further education at school Monday to Friday.
And do you have a lot of friends?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
When do you see your friends?
Walk out.
All
You
the
see
time.
your friends in school, after school clubs, Saturdays, and snack clubs, don't you?
Yes.
How do you travel around? How do you get to school and to all your clubs?
You go on the school bus to school, and then Mum and Dad mainly for the out of school activities, don't you?
Yes.
So your mum and dad are pretty brilliant then.
Yes.
Aww. Where would you like to be in 5 years' time, or where would you like Chris to be in 5 years' time?
Oh.
It's, well, originally the plan was to get a place to share with a friend and get support to come in, because Chris would need overnight support as well because he suffers from epilepsy. But it would be nice for, I mean, we had heard of these key room places, which I believe there's several small flats, but one big community area, which they've got in other boroughs, haven't they? And then, so he'd have his own place with the carers to go back in, lock the door, but he'd be sharing so there'd be other people with lots to do. Because Chris is really sociable and likes to mingle with other people. And we think, you know, because hopefully he'll be going off to college if we get funding from school. And then when he comes back, we just don't want everything to stop. You know, we need him to, he'll still only be about 22, 23, and I think he still needs to be around people that age and still enjoying himself. Because he's,
to be active.
Yeah, he needs to be active. He's been active the whole time, hasn't he? And he just enjoys lots of company, lots of...
So has anybody spoken to Chris about transition to adulthood? Have the services got involved yet and have been speaking to you and him about what could happen next? I mean, the adult services, yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. It wasn't the education, it's the adult services have sort of been round. But nothing to how things are going to go on, really, is there? No. Chris actually needs a lot of support, doesn't he?
Yes. He can't act by himself. He always needs someone with him to keep him out of danger, really, isn't it? Yeah, Chris has no sense of danger. So really, we need a transition from really what he's been doing from 0 to 18 to really carry on. There appears to be like a stop at 18. And then 18 to 80 services seem to be provided. And the top end of that service is just totally unsuitable for a 19-year-old.
Well, just they sort of go to sleep one day, wake up and that's it. It's just all finished. It's quite scary, you know.
And you go to college?
Yeah, Mum goes to college with me.
How many days a week do you go to college? Every day or 1 day a week?
2 weeks.
2 days a week?
Yeah.
3 days a week. Where do you meet your friends?
I don't see them anymore. Because when I go home, I miss them.
So where would you like to see them now?
At clubs.
You want to go to clubs?
So I miss my sisters.
What types of clubs?
Like
Snap?
big girls clubs.
Big girls clubs. How old do you think people should be in these clubs? Do you think they should be 4, 20, 30, 40, 50?
20, that's how I'm going to be.
So what's a typical week?
Getting up, going to school, coming home, and that is it now, because now she's 19, she's into adult services, and I'm yet to find anything that she could really go to. Any clubs that like Snap and all the things she had before, it's all stopped.
Okay, to be in 5 years time.
5 years' time, I'd like her to be happy and in doing something that she feels fulfilled in, more independence. Prior, Snap used to give her mentors so that they used to go out and have fun on their own. So now she really is stuck with just me.
She's lost most social contact now.
She's lost all really, apart from her school, which she's just going to be leaving in the summer. She doesn't see any of the friends because she used to come to this group, the summer clubs, then she used to go out to the Girl Guides, which Snap gave me a mentor, so she used to go to Girl Guides, and then she used to go out on different activities, cinema, shows, etc.
Did anyone talk about transition and ask her what she wanted or give her a...
They did.
No.
We had meetings at school, but she became extremely upset at the thought of school ending, clubs ending, everything ended exactly the same time. So even the medical staff, every single thing in her life stopped, and she was thrown into the adult world. And unfortunately, you mix from 19. Her milestones are about 4 to 5 year old child, but she's now mixing with 60-year-old people in a club, and she gets very scared there, and she just, as soon as you take her in, she says, I'll come home with you.
Mum?
Now, where do you see yourself living?
Home with mum and dad.
With mum and dad?
Yeah,
You're quite happy with mum and dad?
yeah.
Do you think you'll ever live by yourself?
One day in the future, and I'm a bit older.
And do you think you ever have a job
Have a job, isn't it?
in the future, maybe 5 years, 10 years time?
In 5 years' time, yeah.
And what type of job would you like to have?
Working boots at the water.
I'm hoping that in the near future he'll go to college. We've applied for college, but we need funding for college, because I think that will really help Michael with his independent skills and help him to be social and sort of to live with other people. I would
To you and Michael about transition to adulthood and the change of the health service and change of social services.
Yeah, we do have a social worker in children's services, and we are going through that. It's a very I wouldn't say transition actually exists because from what we've encountered so far with adult services, there isn't much there. Seems to be they don't have the staff to allocate you a social worker, and the services just aren't there as they are with children.
So if you could say something to the council about where they need to focus, or what concerns you have, what would you say?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, Chris is 18, but he's obviously works a lot younger, and so sort of. I just think it's a really too early a cut-off stage at 18 for these children because they haven't reached 18 in years. They might have
They may have a chronicle.
Oh.
Depending on the actual work.
So what age do you think would be better? So if they could have if they could extend it.
even up to 25, really, isn't it?
They could understand that 19, they're not at that milestone, and where they should be is like a 19 to 30-year-old group where they can go day centres and things like that, and then a 30 upwards, because nobody would want to be sitting with old people all day, you know, geriatrics and people with dementia. As much as we all care for them, you don't at a young age want to be sitting there with them.
You know, we're at school, the transition period starts at 14, but for education it needs to be social services as well, taking you know, and they need to overlap for a certain number of years, and that just doesn't seem to happen.
So how long would you suggest?
Well, I think at 14, and then most sort of students with special needs are at school till they're 19, and then they go to college. So for me, at least 10 years, because time they come out the other side of college, they're in their early 20s. Then you need to get them sort of settled into what happens next. And quite frankly, we don't know what happens next.